Welcome back to my amazing gardening series and YouTube channel series, where I record gardening and things in a series. It is a series, by the way. Guess you didn't know. Anyways, today I was originally planning on transplanting some Melrose peppers, my 2 Melrose pepper plants, into this corner of the garden that I just cleared all the weeds out of really quickly. I hope that in the next few days, the dead leaves and stems will dry out and turn brown and blend in with the dirt and decompose and everything, instead of the stems growing their own roots and sprouting back again, which they do sometimes. But I pulled out most of them. Let's see, they're over here. I should probably put them in a bag and throw them away or something like that. But for this video, it's just like an intermediate thing. I don't remember what my last video was. I think it was an update on my plants. This would be a second update video in a row. But in the last video, I'm pretty sure all my dill plants were still here. Maybe they weren't. Most of them were. Some of them were. I don't know. I've since pulled them all out. Lettuces are gone. Next year, I'll remember to plant the lettuces earlier. I think I needed to start them about a month earlier. And then maybe they'd need start indoors with a seed heating mat, so that through the winter they don't die of being like 45 degrees. And also a seed heating mat would be good for starting peppers really early as well. So I'll try to get a job in the summer and then use the money to buy gardening supplies and school supplies and maybe band-aids. So anyways, there are a lot of weeds here. There are a lot of weeds around these onions and around this dill. I decided to put some mulch here. It's just made of leaves and dead dried grass that's like turned into straw. And some weeds are making it through, but if I just not rake them, the rake is too big to fit here without damaging my other plants. But if I use this claw and like drag the side of it on the ground, if I use this claw and drag the side of it on the ground like so, it pulls the roots up on some of them, except for the ones that have gotten roots too deep. But if I did this more often, they wouldn't have time to have their roots get too deep. Then they wouldn't have time or nutrients to get the roots back in the ground after doing this. If I just did this every once in a while, but more often than I do now, then it would look better. And then all I have to do is come back and put some mulch back over it after each time I do this, or each few times maybe, I don't know. I say after each time I do it. I have a lot of mulch that's just made of leaves and dead grass. The bean plant, it's got something on the leaves of it, but it's nowhere near as bad as whatever the other previous bean plant had. The cantaloupe is dying really badly, and I barely really care about it. I was originally planning on having it grow to take over all this space, but I think in the future I should cover all of this with maybe fabric or cardboard or something first, and then plant it in here so that I don't waste space in my garden bed, which is about 36 square feet. Right. Oh my gosh. My onions are growing an 8th bulb of flowers. That's the 8th bulb of flowers from one onion. This was originally 1 onion and now it's 8 in 2 years. That's infinite food hack, I think. But anyways, I'm actually gonna start planning what I'm gonna do for the next season of 2025 to 2026. I'm starting planning already, but everything that I planned is in my mind and it's not written down anywhere. I have to write it down before I forget it, but I'm always trying to make all my charts and everything look perfect. And then when they don't look perfect, it makes me give up on it, and I should really stop doing that. This is the last flowering dill plant. Once all these flowers die and turn into seeds, I'm just gonna pull the whole dill plant out, clear out all these weeds, and take this tomato cage back, and then all that will be left in the garden is weeds, dying cantaloupe, and a bunch of green onions, and those purple onions. And also, you know how green onions, they split at the base, right? These two are also splitting right now. There used to be one for about a whole year. Now it's splitting. Also, this one over here will actually survive into next year, but I don't think these will. Maybe they will. I don't even know how. Like, it's cloning itself, I think. So maybe it should survive forever. I don't know how that works. But this purple onion is sort of splitting at the bottom the same way. And I was thinking maybe it would be possible I could just pull one of these out, like I could do with green onion. I could just pull one out and then plant it separately, and then it would grow into its own onion. And there's quite a few here, so I think even if I try it and it doesn't work, it doesn't really matter that much. But I don't know which one to pull out. Like this one looks like it would be the easiest to pull up because it's on top. But all of its new leaves are dying, its old leaves are dying, and I feel like if I disturb it at all, the entire thing would die. So I don't really know which one to get. But I've also decided that next year I'd like to separate this garden by each square foot. Maybe I think the pepper plants should be separated by 2 feet because they're going to be in here for multiple years and they're going to get huge. While everything else, I've seen people say that you can fit like 3 tomato plants in 1 square foot, as long as you don't apply that to the whole bed, because then you have like 100 tomato plants and that would not work. But I want to grow tomatoes next year, and I want to grow regular onions, and I want to grow more lettuce, and I want to do it right. And I think I don't want to grow dill because it sort of looks like a mess, and the flowers aren't as beautiful as I thought they would be. But I might grow fennel or kale instead, because those also grow a ton of yellow flowers. Although fennel doesn't do good in a garden bed because they release some sort of like hormones that inhibit the growth of other plants and makes them grow better, which is really selfish. But I think that means that I shouldn't grow it. So, to recap, I guess, I cleared out weeds, I got rid of old dill plants and lettuce plants. This dill plant is gonna go soon. And then, after clearing out all the weeds, I'm gonna fill this with more soil because we never bought enough soil when we built this because it cost too much to fill it all the way. And basically every time I've ever taken out old plants, I just put in a few shovelfuls of compost. I don't have any compost ready now. So I have to go and buy some soil. And next year, and this year it's not even summer and already planning what I want to grow for next year. But also, this year, I don't know if I'll get the video out before school is over. But I would like to plant marigolds. I know I said earlier, a few videos ago, that it's too late in the year to plant anything because it's too hot outside. But marigolds are pretty well known for their ability to grow really well in like really warm temperatures, even as a seedling. So they can survive even up to 95 degrees as long as it's not like consistently over 95 degrees, which it almost never does here, so they should be fine. And if it gets too hot, maybe I'll just buy a shade cloth or something. Maybe I'll put them in a pot so I can bring them on the patio. Maybe I'll clear weeds out of this area and plant the marigolds over here. And what I want the most is to put them on the front porch so that other people can see them. I've always wanted to have flowers on the front of our house, but every time I try to grow flowers, it's always like there's so much harder to grow than everything else. Maybe it's just in my mind. Maybe it's true. I don't know. Anyways, this video is getting long, and I hope that editing it really shortens it. But next video, I will have more soil in here, and the peppers will get transplanted. But for now, it's time to go. So good evening, good night, whatever. Bye bye.